And welcome back to Sin and Finn, the Dugout Decision Show.
And Kyle Tucker has signed with the LA Dodgers. The Evil Empire, get another
Yep.
one. And it's Kyle Tucker on a 4 year, $240 million deal. That is $60 million per year with an opt-out after year two. We're just going pure raw reaction pod
Yep.
right now. We just pressed the record button, and I am shocked, Aiden.
This is why I never had that emotional attachment to Kyle Tucker. For me, it was always Bo Bichette. And I've been saying it all along. What are the odds that recently, I think it was on our not our most recent pod, which was with Joe Siddle. Go check that out. Great podcast. But the
Great
one
pod.
before that, when we were talking about is it Tucker, is it Bo? I was starting to shift a little bit. I'm like, okay, if Tucker's here for like 8 years, I like that. It sounds good. And then what do you know? It doesn't happen. So you know what? I've been saying it all along since November. It's Bo Bichette. Is Bo coming home? Is that where we're at with it now?
I can't even look to Bo Bichette right now. I'm still in pure shock. And this is a guy who fit in perfectly with what the Jays needed. We
Yeah,
talked about it the episode before the Joe Siddle pod, where it was Bo Bichette or Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker fit multiple needs. Next year we got Varsho, Springer coming off the books, with Varsho likely not getting an extension before 2026 because his agent is Scott Boras. This just showed the importance of going out and getting Kyle Tucker, getting a guy who can slot right in the two hole instead of a Dalton Varsho, instead of an Addison Barger. You put him right there. He's got a great arm out in right field. He's a quieter guy, but he's a clubhouse guy. He's good friends with George Springer, Miles Straw, Joey Loperfido, my guy. But I think he fit perfectly with the
yeah,
Jays. And if he signed with the Mets, totally okay. Okay,
yeah,
the Mets haven't signed anyone. They let go Pete Alonso. They traded Brandon Nimmo. That's a
dude.
lot of star power gone. Edwin Diaz makes a lot of sense to bring in Kyle Tucker, even though you got Juan Soto last year. Okay, go and get Kyle Tucker. Didn't happen. He goes to the LA Dodgers. That's the most infuriating part. Okay, the Jays probably made a huge offer, and
Yeah,
we can't dog the Jays. Like in this negotiation, they were not used as leverage. I think it's fair to say that this wasn't the good old Jays where we're just getting pulled along for the ride. No, I'm sure the Jays made a very competitive offer, and if you guys saw Steve Cohen tweeting near the end,
yeah,
Steve Cohen didn't know the end result. Steve Cohen didn't know his decision about 2 hours ago. So I'm sure all three teams made a very competitive offer. It just happens that Wuss, Kyle Tucker, goes the easy way, gets the short deal, goes to the Dodgers, and unlike Tetsuya Imai, who wants to take down the big bad wolf, he joins the big bad wolf. Um, and it's not over. He could be hitting free agency again in 2 years, but it's man, this really stings,
yeah.
and haven't gotten over it. Um, just happened like 20 minutes
Yeah,
ago.
we're pretty fresh here. So
We're very fresh, but
yeah, I
yeah,
mean, the emotional this is why the emotional attachment can't really be there to this big guy because we miss Otani, right? We miss Asaki. We miss Corbin Burns. We miss Juan Soto. We miss Yamamoto. It does anyone we want. We miss out on them. We got our guy Vlad. What other big free agent? Okay, we got Dylan Cease for what was that 210. The numbers here are insane, dude. I'm pulling up $60 million a year. Seriously, over 4 years. Lockout incoming. Like that's the big question. Is that's what's gonna happen now. Just look at the Dodgers payroll. Look at their roster. We were saying they're what, 340? Yeah, so make that 400 now. Like, what are we doing here? How are other teams supposed to compete? We can. I mean, look how close we were last year, but how is this a functioning league? I don't understand how this is supposed to continue. 60 again, $60 million a year. There's probably
yeah,
a lockout incoming.
and we don't know if there were deferrals. That stuff hasn't come out yet. I assume there was deferrals, and the
Could be.
Dodgers aren't paying a full contract without deferrals, knowing the LA Dodgers.
Oh
So
yeah.
I'm sure this is full of heavy deferrals that'll
Opt
probably
out
make the
after year
Dodgers
two. Opt out after year two.
opt out after year two. So I'm sure they're only paying him like $30 million a year, if
Yeah,
that, and then deferring it to 2035 or something dumb like that. So
insane.
Um, just very disappointed in the outcome. Am I disappointed in the process? No. The Jays
No.
were the front runners really for Kyle Tucker from the start. It was always okay, there's no market for Kyle Tucker. We talked about this a month ago. There is no market for Kyle Tucker. The
Yeah.
Yankees don't want him. They say, oh, they're too left-handed and they don't have any money. Okay, Yankees are off. They were going to trade for him last year, but the Yankees are off. And then the Mets, oh, we don't know. They could be looking at other guys. And then the Dodgers, oh, the Dodgers, of course, can't pay Kyle Tucker. Like they've spent way too much money. So it just leaves the Blue Jays, right?
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't even know where to go with it right now. Like we had the
Yeah.
Miles Straw like phantom Instagram
Oh, yeah.
story of
Frig
the
Miles
side.
Straw. Frig
Like what are we
Miles
doing
Straw,
here?
man.
And
Oh.
him and Heineman are in the comments like, "Hey, come to TPC Toronto. We can play some golf matches and I'll babysit your kids and the whole thing." Like, what are we doing here? None of that meant
Well,
anything. So I don't even know.
it just makes sense for Kyle Tucker, the player himself. I mean, coming to a lower key city like Toronto compared to New York, compared to LA, Toronto's still a big city,
We're still Toronto, yeah.
but it's not like those two others.
Yeah,
Kyle
yeah,
Tucker's about to have a baby. The Jays are props to whoever runs the family stuff with the Jays because they are elite when it comes to that. The spouses have a suite. The kids have a playroom in Rogers Center because of the new renovations. Like this is all elite stuff. The player development complex, just stuff you rave about. Kyle Tucker lives 15 minutes, I think, from our
yeah,
player development complex, from our spring training complex.
yeah,
Um, just makes so much sense. Could slot right into that two hole.
yeah,
And yeah, so it stings. It really does sting. You can't blame Ross Atkins. Can't blame Ed Rogers. You can't say that Ed wasn't willing to take out the blank check and take out whatever money he wanted because he was willing to.
yeah,
Ed wants to win, and that's very evident. And you could see that through this negotiation. It just turns out that the LA Dodgers strike once again, and it just really stings. And this just seems like a monumental moment that could, as you mentioned before, be a big cause for the lockout next year. As painful as that sounds, just not having a
yeah.
baseball year.
You wouldn't think that a guy like Tucker, again, this is a once in a lifetime moment for these guys going into free agency, right? You don't get this, don't get many opportunities like this, right? To secure the bag. We don't know what the numbers were. All we heard was Jays put out a long-term deal. We have no idea. Was it 8 years? Was it 10 years? Was it 5 years? Because what is long at this point? Like, is long 5 years? Is it 6 years? I don't even know. Does long have to mean 10 years? Probably not. When short is like 2 or 3. So is long like five? I don't even know. But you would think you would want some stability. It's like, okay, you secure the bag, you're raising a kid, right? But no, no, no. We'll just go to the Dodgers and we'll do this whole thing
Yeah,
again
I
in a
don't
couple
get
of
that.
years.
I think that's a great point. Like you're 28 years old, you're about to have a kid, go and
Yeah.
settle down somewhere. It's not like
Yeah.
I want to hit free agency in 2 years. Like I don't get that either. That's a great point.
You know what's strange too, and I heard this, and I don't remember where it might have been on like Baseball Today by John Boy. That might have been where I heard
Yeah.
it, but some comparison from Kyle Tucker, and I'm not going to say that Kyle Tucker is going to have the same career path and trajectory as Anthony Rendon, but something I heard personality wise is that there's some similarities there. And I'm like, wait a minute, let's think about it for a second. It's a bit of a stretch here, but hear me out for a second. Framber Valdez, for example, posted what was it like a 20-minute video about why he's a good teammate, right? And because he had that whole fiasco with the catch or whatever. Bryce Harper was called out by Dave Dombrowski, I think. And then what did he put on? He put on some shirt that said, I'm not elite. He's like, he's going to put it in your face. I am an elite player. You would think Kyle Tucker, you can get that sense that maybe he's not so much like that, that outgoing kind of guy, more reserved guy. You would think maybe he doesn't want to be in the spotlight. Come to Toronto. We got Vlad. But of course, he can go to the Dodgers and he got Otani and he got Betts and he got Freeman and everyone there, so he can do it there. Like, man, so I don't even get it. Is he going to turn out like Anthony Rendon? I hope not. Or maybe now I do because he's on the Dodgers. So you know
Yeah,
what?
yeah,
Screw the
yeah.
guy.
Forget no, no.
Yeah,
I hope he
yeah,
turns
yeah,
into
yeah.
something worse than Anthony Rendon.
Yeah,
So
even worse. I don't know. He's out of the league in like 2 years because Rendon, I think, just retired or something. They bought out his contract.
right.
I don't know. Is that really the case? Like, is that really where we're at with it? I don't even know. Because then is Kyle Tucker, does he just not love the game? Like, I don't know. Is that his personality? I did hear also, too. It's like, look at his playoff numbers. I saw that it's like a sub 700 OPS in the playoffs. And he's been there a bit. He's been with the Astros, been to playoffs a lot, with the Cubs, hasn't really performed. And then the other thing I heard too is like, is there a signature Kyle Tucker moment you can think of? It's kind of similar with Bo Bichette. Like, there's no one thing that stands out. You think Vlad, Grand Slam. Immediately, that's the first thing you think of, right? And there's a lot of great Vlad moments. There really isn't like one big Kyle Tucker moment. I don't know. He's just kind of consistent, kind of what Anthony Rendon was, and then kind of fell off the face of the earth. So I don't even know what the hell is going to happen with the guy. I don't know. He's on the Dodgers. I can't believe it. But full focus to me has to be Bo Bichette. Like, where are you at with it now? Because I get it. Obviously, we're in complete shock with Tucker now, but it's the next move. Ross said that we weren't done. The Okamoto press conference said, yeah, it's going to take away some playing time from other guys, but he had the go ahead from ownership to go out and get people. Are we good with where we're at right now? Bo just had his meeting with the Phillies. I heard it went well with the Red Sox, and then it went nowhere. And then there was no communication between the two of them. The Phillies meeting was on what, Monday, and we're recording this on what, a Thursday night. So what happened there? Like I don't know. I say do it. Just bring Bo back. I don't know. Run it back now.
Yeah, I think we were coping a little bit with the Kyle Tucker stuff. I think
Yeah.
he's a great player. I think he'll do a great job and
Oh
probably
yeah.
don't want to say this, be a key part of the LA Dodgers' three-peat next year. But
Oh God.
yeah, I think we were coping a little bit.
Oh
But
yeah. Oh for
he'll
sure.
be a great player, going to do great things. And but this leads to Bo Bichette, as you said, and. Yeah, like the Phillies thing was a whole lot of rumors with the Phillies thing. Okay, after they lost the World Series, it's Don Mattingly and Bo Bichette like embracing each other because Don hasn't won a ring yet, and then
Okay.
Don obviously went to be the bench coach of the Phillies, and they have a unique bond there. So
Yeah.
that was a big story there, and then nothing really came to fruition about that. But
No.
I think the Bo Bichette market will really start to heat up now because he made a really smart move by waiting for Kyle Tucker to sign because now the Jays, it would be fantastic if we got Bo Bichette. It'd still be an okay off season if we didn't get Bo Bichette. But if we got Bo Bichette, that would be a really, really good off season. So that probably means the Jays are going to spend more on Bo Bichette than what they initially anticipated because Kyle Tucker is now gone. So I anticipate the Bo Bichette market starting to heat up here.
Oh yeah.
And who's in the Bo Bichette market? Is it the Red Sox? I don't know what the Red Sox are really doing right now. They got Ranger Suarez, and he's a
Yeah.
good postseason starter, a reliable starter. But hitting wise, they could use a Bo Bichette. Are they willing to spend that money? Phillies, it's kind of a weird fit with the Phillies, but that lineup is gross. And
Yeah.
then the Blue Jays, huge clubhouse guy, best friends with Vlad, and would be a good fit with the Blue Jays,
Could you
obviously.
imagine? Could you imagine the Dodgers? What's the one position they need? Second base. Could you imagine they somehow get it done? Because what was the talk all day long? It's Mets and Jays guys going back and forth on Twitter. And then the Dodgers, oh yeah, we swoop in, we'll take him. Could you imagine they go out there and they get Bo Bichette? Just picture that right now. That's the one weakness they have. We talked, oh, the weakness was kind of the outfield because you got a guy like Alex Call out there, or whatever. Oh yeah, we solved that with Kyle Tucker. Now we have, I don't even know they got Hai Sung Kim or something like that. I don't even know who they have at second base. Yeah, so let's just put Bo Bichette there. Could you imagine? And their payroll is going to be, I don't even know what, 450 million. They can just say, screw it, let's do it, honestly. I mean, it's the
Yeah,
Dodgers. All right, let's just go in all in at this point. Like, what are we doing here with the Dodgers, right? They probably could. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if they did it.
yeah,
Obviously, that
yeah.
would be like the end of the world, but I don't know how like they could get it done somehow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the Dodgers just depth chart and their projected lineup thanks to
Yeah.
Fangraphs right now, and Tommy Edman is the second baseman supposed to
Oh,
bat eighth.
Bo's an
So
upgrade.
yeah, Tommy Edman didn't do anything in the postseason. So
No.
obviously Bo would be a big upgrade. I assume it's the Dodgers are
Ugh.
done. You can never count them out though. They got like you can't forget about Edwin Diaz too. That
Oh
they
my
finally
God,
got a
yeah.
closer. And here I'll go over their lineup quickly because it's a sight for sore eyes.
Oh,
It's Shohei Ohtani batting leadoff, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Kyle Tucker hitting cleanup, Will Smith, then Max Muncy, Teoscar Hernandez batting seventh,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
Tommy Edman, and along with Andy Pages hitting ninth, and Andy Pages
Oh,
had a pretty good 2025 and sucked in the playoffs, but he had a 4.1 WAR in 2025. So this is a a wicked lineup. Like it's disgusting. So, and their rotation, of course,
I was just
is
gonna say, yeah. I
the
mean,
best ever. So,
what is it? Glasnow, Otani, Snell, Yamamoto, Sasaki is probably going to become a starter down the line. Like you said, Diaz is at the back of the pen. Are
yeah.
these the Avengers? Like we're watching the Avengers in action here. Just think, like again, I still don't want to. I don't want to this to be sound too much of like a doom recording here. We still have a great team. We're still the Blue Jays. Look how much money we spent. We still spent the most this
Oh
offseason.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Right? It's still the Blue Jays. Can you just imagine I don't know, the Marlins right now, the Pirates right now, the Guardians right now. Just imagine these other teams looking at this. How? The Rockies, how do they compete with this?
you
We're still the
can.
Blue Jays. You
Yeah,
literally can, and that's why this lockout isn't coming. It's not fair. How are those other teams supposed to compete? The Dodgers are going to win. Pencil it in right now. January 15th. They're going to win 100 games in the regular season. Otani wouldn't even have to play. Put the guy on the bench the whole year. Pull a 2019 Raptors. Let Kawhi Leonard sit. Put Otani on the bench. He can play, I don't know, 50 games, whatever. Come in the playoffs, and then here comes a three-peat. Pencil it right now. They're going to go to the World Series, and there's a good chance they win it again. Well, how do
yeah,
these other teams compete? Good thing is at least we're the Blue Jays. We got to game seven, even with the roster as is. Get me Bo. I still want to get Bo. Even the roster as is, we can still compete for a playoff spot. We can still push it to the ALCS, the World Series. How do those other teams do it?
yeah.
There's no
This is
way.
as you said, it's still a great offseason by
Yeah.
Rogers and the Blue Jays. It's Cease and Ponce and Rogers and Okamoto, all great pieces, and definitely improves the 2025 roster. And but the loss of Kyle Tucker, well, it's not a loss because we never had him.
Yeah.
Just the idea of Kyle Tucker
Yeah.
with the Blue Jays in 2026 made it to be a Hall of Fame offseason. And I think every Jays fan who was following this negotiation closely kind of assumed he would join the Blue Jays, and then near the end, there a lot of doubts started to creep in. So just the signing with the Kyle Tucker would have penciled it in as a Hall of Fame offseason by Ross and Mark, and it's still a great offseason. It's just disappointing that Kyle Tucker chose this route. And that's okay because we'll see what else they have. I'm sure the Blue Jays front office is disappointed and watched on like Steve Cohen did and was
Yeah.
refreshing Twitter like he
Uh,
was. But yeah, just pure shock that the Dodgers had to do it, and it's a monumental deal.
just wait to see when his press conference comes out and hey Kyle, why'd you pick the Dodgers? Oh, well, they're a winning organization, and they have great success story. We're gonna win the World Series. That's why. Because I'm making a crap load of money. I'm making $60 million a year. I can enter the market again and probably make even more. And I'm probably going to win a couple World Series while I'm here. And oh yeah, that guy Otani, that guy Betts, they're all here. Like it's just crazy, man. Just to think about it, to think first of all that we were that close to begin with. That's where again I'm saying about again, it's the Blue Jays. To think we're in it, think of those other teams that can't even compete. They can't even think in this realm. We were there. It's like how many times? So again, Otani 23. What was it last year? It was Yamamoto and Sasaki and Soto was the big one. This year it's Tucker. What's it gonna okay, honestly, this okay, so here's a good thing. We talked about how bad the free agent class is next year. So at least we can say maybe now that we're not going to get hurt in the 2027 offseason. Maybe that's the thinking that at least, okay, it happened 3 years in a row. Maybe the four-peat doesn't happen with us getting hurt in the offseason because it seems to happen every year. It's like, why are we always used as leverage? It felt like for once we had the leverage, right? Because we just went to the World Series. Over the Mets, you would think we'd have the leverage. They didn't even make the playoffs. They were that bad.
They had
But of course,
clubhouse issues. They had all this. So
everything.
the
But what
Mets
was
were
the team a
probably.
little bit above? It was the Dodgers, of course.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
then when you look back at it, there's signs that the Dodgers were starting to creep in because last night you hear Jeff Passan go on Sportsnet with Tim McAuliffe and talk about how the
Yeah.
Jays are the only team willing to go 10 years. And then so that's a leak there. And then with the Mets, I mean, every part of the Mets negotiation was leaked. The whole $50 million thing and then the whole 4 year, $200 million thing was leaked as well.
No.
So
No.
leaks are never a good sign because that's
No.
key sign for leverage. And then you look at the Dodgers sign and just a whole lot of nothing. So
Yeah.
that was interesting. And then I think something interesting to take away from this is The impact of Scott Boras and his short-term deals. I crapped
Yeah.
on Alex Bregman a few episodes ago because I thought he didn't have a market and was going to sign a pretty poor deal. He ended up signing with the Chicago Cubs for about $160 million, which is a very good deal after taking a short-term deal a few years ago, last offseason with the Red Sox. And then the same thing with Blake Snell. Blake Snell took a very short-term
Yeah.
deal with the Giants, and then the Dodgers paid him a heck of a lot of money,
Yeah.
and then Kyle Tucker took a short-term deal here. So let's see if the results are the same as Bregman and Snell, and he gets a crazy
Yeah.
wicked contract, a contract that he went into this offseason looking for. He went into this offseason looking for $600 million. He was traded to the Cubs for a lot, for Isaac Paredes, for Cam Smith. Like that was a big package. And you go into this offseason, it's going to be a bidding war. The Yankees are going to be in on it. Five, six, seven, maybe $100 million. He
It's
ends up going
crazy.
for 240 over 4, potentially 2 years, and waits to cash in on a big contract in likely 2 years. So it's
Yeah.
very interesting. It's very disappointing just from a Kyle Tucker super fan. Like I was a Tucker guy since day one when
Yeah.
Aiden said he was going to pay Bo $45 million a year. So
Yep.
it's just disappointing from that front. But the Jays will still be on the prowl, and they've had a great offseason, and
Yeah.
we'll bring you any news coming at you.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? If we were willing to dish out 40 mil to Tucker per year, or say it was something around that, then give it to Bo. Bo's our hometown guy anyways. He's been here for a while. I know that's crazy. We're not giving Bo 40 million a year, but whatever the number is, you're right though with the markets too. Just a week ago, who wasn't signed? It was Bregman, it was Tucker, it was Ranger Suarez, and there might have been another that I'm missing, but it was like those three guys. Those are some of the three big ones. And just like that, in about a week, it's happened. And at least the good thing is, okay, there were all the posts coming out today of like, oh, Tucker's most likely going to sign tonight. And it goes, oh, maybe it'll be in the weekend. It's like, man, what are we doing here
I
on
know, I
Twitter?
hate that. I just make your
Why?
mind. And then he made the
Do it
wrong
already.
decision. He made the wrong decision in the end
So
anyway. So
at least we're getting this
bunch
one
of
a little bit late
garbage.
tonight, but at least he did it on the day. It's not like they waited until Friday. They waited
That's
until the
true.
weekend.
That's
At
true.
least they got it done.
Save me some
Something,
screen time. So
yeah, at least that helped. With Kyle Tucker though, I don't know, something that was weird because you mentioned like, oh, maybe he was going to go to the offseason and get like 600 million, something like that. I'm looking at his baseball reference here. I know you're a Fangraphs guy, but that's just what I pulled up.
yeah,
Just baseball reference. I'm sure Fangraphs wouldn't be that different. He's never put up higher than a 5.5 B WAR in a season. Who are the guys that got the $700 million contracts? It's Otani and Juan Soto. Those guys have had 7, 8, 9 WAR seasons. Even Vlad has had a couple of 6. So was it really realistic to say that Kyle Tucker was going to get that much money? That's pretty hefty. He's very good. I will say he's a very consistent player and he's very good at everything that he does, but he's not necessarily elite at everything. He's not going to hit 50 home runs a year or 40 home runs. He'll hit maybe 25. Maybe he'll hit 30, something like that. He'll steal maybe 20 bases. His OPS will be like 850s, maybe it's 900, something like that. So he's not a bad player. And I know, again, we're trying to cope here because he went to the Dodgers, but I just think that the Jays were going to dish out 500 million or any team was going to dish out that kind of money was a little bit of a stretch. So I don't know. Regardless, somehow he ends up on the Dodgers. They have a super team. And I think honestly the offseason where we're at right now, because we got a month until spring training starts. I think the offseason now, I think we said we address the starters, we address the relievers. I think either we're done or we get Bo, and that's the final move. Right? I think that's fair to say.
yeah, I think that's fair to say as well. I don't think there is anywhere else where there's a glaring thing you have to fill.
Yeah.
It was outfield just because next year's free agency class isn't great by any means. So that was a little bit of a need, but there's not really any outfielders left,
Yeah.
and Bo Bichette is also a great fit. So I
Yeah.
think Bo is really the key one. You're good with starting pitching and starting pitching depth. You're good in the bullpen as well. You have a lot of options in the bullpen, and yeah. So I think you just gotta try to get Bo, try to get him on a
Yeah.
decent deal, and not have to pay too much
Yeah.
I
Like
mean, we'll
Is
see.
Bo gonna fall into this where he's gonna take a 1, 2 year deal, something like that, and enter the market again? But again, we have that lockout coming now. Like, I don't
You
know.
know
Is
what?
Bo
I,
gonna
I
do
I
that?
wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised
Yeah.
with what the numbers currently look like. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a short-term deal for Bo. And I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind that.
Mhm.
I really wouldn't.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. That extends our contending period. He gets to stay for a little bit longer, and then who knows? Maybe then he goes to the Phillies, or who knows? I know it sucks. That was your guy, Tucker. I know was your guy, but and I know I'll be happy, obviously, if we get Bo, because I've been saying it all along. But I think you'll come around to it too if we end up getting Bo and we have a pretty good run next year.
Yeah, of course, of
But
course.
we're coping now, obviously, and it sucks. So stay tuned because we don't know. Now that Tucker's gone, we could get the Bo news pretty soon, right? We were saying all along, as soon as Tucker's gone, it's pretty soon for Bo to go next.
I sure hope so. I sure hope so. I'm done with waiting. So
Just rip the band-aid off and get it done
I
already.
know,
Like, let's
I know. I
focus on
just
baseball,
whatever.
right? Let's get to the WBC,
Exactly.
get to spring training. But thanks for tuning in, guys. A little bit of sad news tonight. Kyle Tucker goes to the Dodgers, and stay tuned for maybe some Bo news coming next.
Thanks for listening, guys. Go Jays as always.
Go Jays.